lamenting tragedy with glee. Delete and hope that no one sees. Ashamed of your identity, somehow a sin to disagree. Maybe you fucked up. Hello, beta testers. Like, comment, subscribe, become a patron, get something off my wish list if you want a piece of my Kit Kat bars. It would seem as though Antifa is now classified as a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, a major terrorist organization. So of course here comes Ghost of Yotei star Erika Ishii to say,
I'm Antifa, y'all. So's my wife.
Well, is she, or isn't she? I might have felt bad for the studio behind this Rachel Zegler energy-oozing entity that they hired as yet another girl boss star of Sony's latest agenda game. But it's crystal clear with comments Erika made this year that making the most money is irrelevant to pronouns, so suck it everyone at Sucker Punch, and I imagine they feel the same way because they made no statement after they were forced to fire another employee following their childish need to dismiss Charlie Kirk after an assassination. Cults using the same fascism and T-phobe and ist terms you've come to know and love, an inclusive gang is going to learn a lesson like Kimmel did, telling lies and getting fired. So, the cat that you can pet is out of the bag, and I love using the comments of people who the concept of hypocrisy is lost on, because Blue Sky is also, air quotes, boycotting Yotei because freedom of speech suddenly matters now that they are being affected. Fired for opinions bad, but shooting for opinions good, says they them, because he had it coming. This is how they think. And Yotei's developer at Sucker Punch defends these activists because they are those activists, but I believe Sony's problems are so much more massive than I can adequately summarize, so I hope your appreciation of my visual aids complementing my little PowerPoint presentation makes you big-breasted enough to just want to shake left and right and up and down, pinch those nipples, areola circles all around, touch grass, snowflake, and all these other cute terms that we will now be recycling because the please won't someone talk to me losers up in my comments are honestly gifting me, could we call it ammunition? You want to defend this game, so we'll be shoveling all of that nonsense you're saying and giving it right to the people boycotting. The first time that some gamers, who likely had probably never even voted and had no intention to, were being called far right by activists online, they too started noticing who the entities who can't even define woman started classing everyone as wokes, grand othering. None of you are allies. You disagree, and that's wrong think. Agree or Nazi. You better hate Sydney Sweeney or you're fascist. Repeat the Tranifesto or you're far right. Love these race swaps or you're a bigot. Love this girl boss or you're a misogynist. If you disagree, you are to be unpersoned. Disagree equals deaf, because you're not on the right side of history, right? What happens when it's someone else's turn? What happens when your words don't work and they know better than to believe the types crying wolf? If playing a wizard game means that we're not allies, nigga, guess what? If liking real women means that I'm some word based on, your fucked up cult Bible, it's fine. And the Randy Pitchfords gaslighting me when I provide proof of something not functioning as it should after payment it's not going to make people back down on the misguided foolishness that you spew just because of the drunks that you've hired and are willing to rub shoulders with and help give you the hand job you're looking for to make you think that you're not an idiot, because you are. You're an idiot. They need everyone to be the bad guy, to be unpersoned, so that hopefully the crazies that they've spent a decade riling up will put something in your neck the way that they did Charlie Kirk. A furry transformer boyfriend, huh? Those logs are impressive. So these pearl-wearing, piercing-having projectors, proudly barking like dogs, pretending they don't perceive their previously privileged status evaporating. So yes, you're starting to see actual radical types like Hassan Piker, who begs for the killing and murdering of capitalist dogs. May their blood soak the streets. These are things that he says with Twitch's blessing. And these types, your Concord, Dragon Age, Dustborn losers who are now working on things like Yotei and Battlefield 6, are filling up these studios that are supposed to be making games for majority heterosexual men, but their hatred of natural biological women, beauty, and things that, of course, men love, turns these entertainment escapes into lecture-heavy slop to an audience that they consider captive. So desperate for attention that they've ripped gamers' gaze away from the games, and they will witness that the same civility or lack thereof will be extended to them. These people make it clear that they do it again 100-fold. They do not care about whatever they're costing these projects. How exhilarating. Sony couldn't stop at sweet baby Spider-Man, ugly Mary Jane, gay matchmaking, play as the disabled girlfriend to the black Spider-Man in the game you pushed the now deceased Tony Todd's Venom out of the way for more Mary Jane sequences, even though director Brian Intihar made it abundantly clear with his Spanish language rewriting ass that gamers didn't like this, but he didn't care. Sony couldn't stop at Concord, a game so repulsive with its even the robots have pronouns ass, that after failing to scratch 100 players on one platform, it was ripped down and refunded after 11 days. Sony couldn't stop at Marathon, a hilariously expensive disaster of a live service extraction shooter by Bungie, whom Sony spent $3.6 billion to acquire, where the developers are so lazy that, with their DEI design not being enough, they decided to plagiarize other online artists. Sony's Fair Games has so many high-profile departures, everyone is flat out expecting its cancellation. You know, like the normal kind, not the you said something I don't like so you should be canceled, and that's not okay, but people being shot is okay. Sony's Intergalactic manages more dislikes than Concord. Another nightmare going over so poorly Naughty Dog was forced to lock the comments, the ones that they couldn't delete fast enough that we were all watching you do live on stream. As usual, loudmouth activist morons cast for your bald-headed, flat-chested, angry girl boss lesbian characters are online reposting DEI and incel cringe, asking, "You mad, bro?" Matching Sony's Yotei, where yes, I can say that even the rake-stepping clowns in your own clown car with pronouns are mad about Yotei because you dare to defend the assassination remarks. Don't you know he said problematic transphobic things? LOL, man. Western gaming in a nutshell. The comfiest couch in the world couldn't keep hetero men from loudly objecting to the freaks you keep forcing. Such limp dick gaslighting attempts. Maybe you can shame or guilt people into suddenly believing that what you think matters. All of these comments that I'm just seeing, hundreds, thousands, they must not be real. They must just be bots. I mean, of course, the third-party software that you use to see the dislikes is incorrect too, right? I think to these brain-damaged lunatics, they see the game selling any copies and count that as a victory. Sorry, edit that out. The reality is the vocal disdain is so pronounced, it begs a response. So I'll say what I said on Twitter. Sensitive, polite reinforcement of cringe for woke sake what losers have been calling toxic positivity, in an environment with no shaming and discouraged feedback seen as hate or mean. This allows the cancer to metastasize. Studios full of this earn layoffs. Lock the comments all you want. Your shareholders will hold you accountable one way or another, the way you refuse to hold yourself. Whatever money you do make has a massive portion withheld by people you saw flex their numbers, simply interested in which games SBI had infected. Speaking of, a game called Henry Halfhead has Sweet Baby Inc. attached, and Ready or Not's community manager needed to weigh in, saying nothing of value was lost as it pertained to Charlie Kirk. For me, saying it is one thing, but how badly they need attention for it is the truly pathetic part. It's the real monkey see, monkey do that we've seen destroy the world with losers needing attention all over TikTok. The word for Kyle is resolute. Admirably purposeful, determined, and unwavering. If it's not admirable to you, that's okay. Bald-headed knob gobblers calling themselves journalists think they themselves sexy and need to tell us about it very often. And that doesn't appear true to any of us if you ask us, but hey, you can decide some things, and then that's just the way that it is. That's the way the world works. Gaming is poised for a Panic Part 2. A follow-up to the popular Blame game some of us saw in the 90s, a remaster, if you will. Woke sees the writing on the wall, though, and the people who are defending Disney for 15 years of queer-coding kids and agenda are now suddenly angry and boycotting them because Jimmy Kimmel, he was so funny, right? It's the stupid that should bother you. There are these hoes that don't really understand. You know, you're a teacher, you're a doctor, and you can't process that thinking a disagreement justifies execution. Would make people not want to work around your stupid ass. I'm in Florida and I've seen people denied emergency service. Think about that. Hurricane emergency service. And, oh, well, you triggered because they probably voted differently, so they not gonna get it. These aren't humans, and you shouldn't treat them like humans. Encourage them to speak out and separate themselves from you, because the fear they exhibit right now, lashing out like a cornered animal, it comes from a place of understanding that their own cult's playbook is going to be used against them in a much less gay way this time. They call it cancel culture, but it was fine when they did it, so this will be called consequence culture. Government-enabled men who won't take no for an answer, laying claims to women's spaces and always needing it to be about kids. That was cringe enough. But for the media to incessantly tell us, to tell you, to stop killing them when they're the ones doing it to themselves, what the fuck this got to do with us? Oh, because you're gonna off yourself if we don't say the right words, we don't fuck you, you're gonna kill yourself? That's our fault? Crazy, bro. McDonald's need to shut the hell up and be fries in a motherfucking burger. Ice cream need to shut the hell up and put some damn Jimmy's on it. I was too straight to be gaslit by Tuckers or taxed into paying their Buffalo Bills. You see Mr. Beast in Tron Ares, you see Mr. Beast cast to be in Angry Birds 3. Like, this is what woke has done to media. The sanitization, the sensitivity, no edge, no charm, just forced entities. So now there's just YouTubers and streamers. And maybe if we're lucky, some very popular kind of brain rot Labubu types maybe. I'm observing some Canada funding Antifa news bubbling up, and I can barely appreciate Blizzard forced to flex, safe horny to try to compete, and so sexy Marvel rivals Stellar Blade and First Ascendant, and wait until you see some of what's coming down the pipes. There's some genuine things I'm excited about, even though they may be Daft Punk Fortnite and Simpsons Fortnite and Katamari Damacy related, but I think we could all have a good time playing Sonic Cross Worlds. You finally will have a game that you can do better than me in, since playing PvP in any other scenario just destroys all of you. God forbid any of you be good. jump into Marvel Rivals so we can mess around and somebody get me that Batmobile, because I heard that's coming to Fortnite very soon. Talking tonight, 1989 Batman. I want to formally, I don't know, wish well to the dead modern audience who would have to have lived to truly die, but you know, we can say goodbye to an imaginary friend. It doesn't need to be, they deserve to die, they were problematic. We're not like that. We're not that low. We're not monsters. And even if it didn't exist, we hope that it can have a good afterlife with a blue regard Q kazoo, you know? That's a weird reference, man. I hope somebody appreciates that. Yikes. So, to the patrons and the sponsors, I love you and I thank you. I'm trying to push through Borderlands. I'm glad for a game I can take at my own pace, but that thing's got performance issues that might cross the threshold of taxing into dangerous for your PlayStation, in that if you leave it on too long, it could actually harm the device. This is really the kind of stuff that somebody needs to really monitor the device for and see if people can take fucking Randy Pitchford to motherfucking court over it. It's not gonna, you know, whatever. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay out of trouble. At least I bounced. That works for me.
I did it.
I believe in ya.
Clinical dissection.
Look how ugly the hair looks when you're falling. It's like it should go straight up, but it doesn't understand that.